There are places on this earth where even courage begins to tremble. Valleys so dark, so cursed, that pilots whisper about them in mess halls and war zones, calling them by names the maps don't dare print. The Black Valley was one of those places. Every pilot who entered it never came back. Until one day, Captain Rebecca Holt decided to return into that same cursed stretch of sky, flying the A-10 Thunderbolt she once nearly died in. But what she carried that day was more than firepower. She carried ghosts. This is the story of Holt and her A-10 and why she flew back into a place no pilot survived. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us here on Grow for Justice, because we bring you stories of courage, truth, and sacrifice that the world needs to remember. And while you're here, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I'd love to know. Now, let's begin. The sound of engines ripped through the dawn over the Afghanistan mountains. The A-10 Thunderbolt II, nicknamed the Warthog, wasn't made to look beautiful, but to survive. Thick armor, twin turbofans, and that terrifying Gu-8 Avenger cannon that could chew through tanks like paper. Rebecca Holt had flown this monster for 7 years. She was a top pilot, steady hands, and an iron heart, until the day the Black Valley swallowed her squadron whole. 2 years ago, a mission had gone wrong. A recon unit pinned down by insurgents deep in the mountains. 3 A-10s sent in for close air support. Holt's was one of them. What happened next was never recorded on any official file. All they found later was her half-burned jet, her flight suit torn, and Holt alive, barely. Everyone else gone. Since that day, Holt hadn't flown again. The Air Force grounded her after trauma reports, endless debriefings, and the haunting nightmares that kept her awake at 3 a.m. But when new reports came of American soldiers trapped again in the same valley, Holt didn't hesitate. She walked into her commanding officer's office and said one line, "Sir, I'm taking her back." He looked up in disbelief. "Holt, you're out of rotation. I was there. I know that valley better than anyone." "Holt, no one comes back from Black Valley." She met his eyes, voice cold as steel. "That's exactly why I'm going." The base was silent as mechanics prepped her A-10. The hangar lights glowed against the beast's gray armor, the air heavy with tension. Other pilots gathered around quietly, watching her climb the ladder. Some saluted. Others just stared, unable to find words. Her co-pilot, Lieutenant Marks, climbed in beside her. A rookie, barely 24, eyes wide with both pride and fear. "You really believe we can make it back, ma'am?" he asked. Holt strapped in, checked the dials, and without looking at him said, "We're not flying to come back, Marks. We're flying to bring them home." The engines roared to life. The hangar doors opened. Dust and desert heat rolled in. Thunderbolt to 1, cleared for takeoff, the control tower said. She pulled the throttle. The jet surged forward and with a thunderous growl, lifted into the sky, back toward the valley that had taken everything from her. The flight there was quiet. Too quiet. Marks kept checking the radar. Nothing. The mountain peaks below looked like sleeping beasts under the orange sun. Then Holt broke the silence. "They said no one survived last time." "That's not true." "I did, but I wasn't supposed to." Marks looked at her, uncertain. "What happened, Captain?" She hesitated. "They jammed our comms. We lost visuals. It wasn't just anti-aircraft fire. It was something else. Like the valley itself didn't want us to leave." As the A-10 approached the coordinates, the radio hissed. Static. Then silence. Marks frowned. "We lost contact." Holt's grip tightened on the stick. "We're here." Below them, the Black Valley stretched like a scar through the earth. Shadows consumed everything. Holt descended. The terrain twisted unnaturally, like it shifted when you weren't looking. The radar flickered with ghost signals. Then, faintly through the static, voices, "Mayday, this is Echo Team," were pinned down, coordinates 43.2, then gunfire. Then nothing. "Copy that," Holt said, switching frequencies. "Echo Team, this is Thunderbolt 2-1 inbound." Marks stared at her. "You're hearing that?" "Yes." He checked the comms. Nothing on the channel. Dead silence. They dove lower through wind and smoke. The closer they got, the more the instruments went wild. Altimeters spinning, compass failing, alarms screaming false warnings. Mark shouted, "We're blind." Holt gritted her teeth. "Then we fly by instinct." And then she saw it. Down below, plumes of smoke, muzzle flashes, soldiers trapped behind a half-broken Humvee. Holt lined up the A-10. Target in sight. She flipped the arm switch. The 30mm Avenger cannon began to hum. Hold on tight. The valley erupted. The roar of the Gu-8 tore through the mountains. BRRT. Vehicles exploded. Dust and fire lit up the shadows. Holt circled, strafed again, and again, until the only thing left standing was silence. Targets neutralized. Marks whispered, trembling, but Holt wasn't breathing normally. Her eyes were fixed on the canyon ahead. "Captain?" She didn't answer. Through the haze, she saw something impossible. Wreckage of an A-10, her old A-10. The one that crashed 2 years ago. Her voice broke. "That's my jet." Mark stared, frozen. "That can't be." They said it was destroyed. Holt guided the plane lower. The wreckage gleamed under the sun, half buried in rock. Her old call sign, Reaper 09, was still faintly visible on the side. Her voice cracked in the comms. "This place never let me go." Suddenly, the radar screamed again. Unknown blips. Multiple contacts. 2, maybe 3. Marks shouted. Enemy anti-air units hidden in caves fired missiles. Holt yanked the jet, flares bursting. One missile missed, another clipped the wing. Alarm screamed. "We're hit." Marks yelled. Holt fought the controls. "We're not going down again." She pushed the throttle to full. Smoke poured from the right engine. The A-10 shook violently. Holt flipped the backup systems manually, overriding warnings. "Come on, girl." "Not again." With one engine burning, she made another pass, unleashing everything the Warthog had. The mountains burned. The last gun nest fell silent. Finally, quiet. Smoke rising. Echo Team's signal pinged faintly again. "Echo Team to Thunderbolt 2-1. You saved our lives." Holt's hands trembled. "Copy, Echo Team. Evac inbound. Hold your position." But something strange happened next. The valley, once silent, began to echo with her own voice, distorted radio chatter from 2 years ago. Her own last mission replaying through the static. "Reaper 09, you're too low. Pull up, Holt. Pull up." The sound of the crash. Marks looked terrified. "Captain, what's happening?" She whispered, "It's trying to bring me down again." The controls jammed. The jet started losing altitude fast. "Eject." Marks shouted. Holt shook her head. "Not this time." She grabbed the manual override, slamming the stick forward. The A-10 groaned, metal straining. She shouted into the storm, as if defying the valley itself. "You took my brothers. You're not taking me." The engines roared. Flames burst from the exhaust. The jet climbed, fought, and broke free from the canyon walls. Suddenly, sunlight. Clear air. Open sky. Marks gasped. "We're out." Holt leaned back, tears in her eyes. Below them, the black valley faded into shadow once more. And as they ascended toward home, the radio crackled. One final voice. "Reaper 09 mission complete." It was her old commander's voice. "Dead for 2 years," she smiled softly. "Roger that, sir." Hours later, the A-10 landed safely at base. The hangar erupted in applause, but Holt didn't stay. She walked straight past everyone, climbed down, and touched the scorched metal of her aircraft. Mark stood beside her. "You did it. You broke the curse." Holt smiled faintly. There was never a curse, just fear. And the sky doesn't forgive fear. As she walked away, the sunset reflected off the A-10's metal. Etched on its side, someone had written overnight in chalk, "For those who never came back." And that, my friends, was Captain Holt's return to the Black Valley. The mission no one thought she'd survive. The flight that turned fear into legend. If this story gave you chills, make sure to subscribe right now to Grow for Justice, because we bring you powerful stories of courage, sacrifice, and truth every week. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? Globe showing Europe, Africa.